It was nearly midnight in our apartment, the one bedroom with exposed brick that once felt like a capsule of possibility, a space we believed we'd outgrow together. I was brushing my teeth when the call came. Elena's voice, casual, too casual, cut through the mundane rhythm of mint and foam. "Bridal party," she said, as if the words carried no weight. "Don't wait up, I'll be late." I froze, toothbrush dangling midair, teeth tingling, heart thundering. "Then why are the guys there with you?" I asked quietly, sharply. Silence, a click, she hung up. I stared at my reflection, foam sliding down my chin, pulse loud in my ears, and for the first time the apartment felt foreign. 10 minutes later, the door slammed. Elena stumbled in, heels in one hand, fake lashes barely clinging, eyes wide with forced innocence. "There were no guys," she blurted, already crying. "Just the girls, you're overreacting." She marched to the kitchen, as if proximity to the fridge could erase the tension. "You hung up on me," I said, voice tight in the hallway. I panicked. She snapped. "You always assumed the worst. You lied. If it was just girls, why did you run to answer the phone?" "Because I knew this would happen. You ruin everything with your paranoia." Paranoia, bitter, hollow laughter escaped me. Then I heard them, men, laughter, talking clearly in the background. She hadn't even tried to hide it. Her eyes flared, defensive. "So what, David? I can't be in the same room as men now. That's not it," she said, mascara streaking, arms crossed. "You're making me feel criminal for having a bachelorette party. Like I owe you an explanation for every second of my night." "You do," I said, stepping closer. "When I'm paying for your immigration attorney, your mother's dentist, your family's visas, I deserve honesty." Her face fell. "Low is lying to the man who moved heaven and earth for her," I continued, voice low but precise. "She uses my name to get into a country, maybe out of a marriage. Prove to me you're here for me, not for the green card." I lay awake that night while she slept curled 2 feet away. Her breathing was soft, steady. I replayed Prague, her smile, her laughter, every memory, and wondered if her love had ever been real. Perhaps the real party tonight wasn't the one she left, but the performance she brought home. The apartment felt colder than usual. My mind went back 3 years to the first time I saw Lena in Prague behind a hotel desk. Soft blue turtleneck, awkward English, charm in her nervousness. Our walks along the Charles Bridge, the snowy evenings, the way city lights seemed dim compared to her eyes. 6 months later, she was in New York. I believed in permanence, sponsored her visa, even her mother's and sister's. I was all in. I had missed the manipulation hidden beneath charm. Now every word, every smile she gave me replayed like clues. Every "I love you" sounded different in hindsight. That night, I lay staring at the ceiling, haunted by the delay in her phone call, by the men laughing in the background. What do you do when your home becomes the place where the lie lives? By dawn, I had made a decision. I texted Mila, her sister, casual, polite. "Hey, want to grab a coffee?" She responded with a thumbs up and heart. Typical Mila, energetic, sharp, and prone to overshare. At the corner cafe with pale wood furniture and jazz humming softly, I asked about the party. Her eyes flicked, pupils betraying her. "I left early," she admitted. "It got weird." The first cracks formed. She explained how older, flashy men arrived uninvited. She hadn't meant it to go that far. I let her talk, absorbed every word. It mattered more than anything. This wasn't just a lie. It was a revelation about a life built on convenience and charm, not love. 2 days later, I found myself climbing a narrow stairwell in Brooklyn to a locksmith's office. Grant Folsom, a man I'd hired to investigate, sat behind a cluttered desk. "You think she's using you. I think she already did," he said. I handed over everything: social media handles, the party planner, bridesmaids' names. Grant promised, "Proof doesn't come with closure, just clarity." Back home, Elena acted as though life was normal. But I didn't respond to her tests. That evening at dinner, I let her talk borrow joy. And when she paused, I quietly said, "We need to pause the wedding." Her smile faltered. I explained calmly, it wasn't just the party. It was the lies, the performances, the manipulations. She accused me of control. I corrected her. You let men into a private bachelorette party, lied about it, and cried when caught. That's not just a night out. Her mask shifted from victim to operator. She hissed, "You owe me." I stayed still. No. I want to make sure I'm not marrying someone who sees me as a means to an end. She stormed to the bedroom, slamming the door. Relief replaced heartbreak. For the first time, I wasn't chasing explanations. I was watching the truth. The gallery was dim, the walls lined with abstract canvases, shadows stretching across the floor like quiet observers. Claire moved easily, scanning the room with a practiced calm, her presence grounding. We found a corner, 2 folding chairs tucked into a near-empty alcove, far enough from the main crowd to speak freely. We talked again, carefully, about small things at first: art techniques, favorite exhibitions. The Austin skyline from a rooftop bar she swore had the best sunset. Our conversation was unhurried, the kind that slides comfortably around silence. No performance, no expectation, just clarity. That rare space where the world felt manageable again. After a while, she said, "You look lighter, David," not weighed down by her. Her eyes held a knowing glint. I nodded. "I am. That weight, it wasn't mine to carry alone." A waiter brought over 2 small glasses of Riesling, placing them gently on the table between us. We sipped slowly, the wine sweet but not cloying. The city hummed faintly outside, distant sirens and the low roar of cars. Here, it felt suspended. I realized that for months, maybe years, I had been performing for Elena, for Samantha, for anyone but myself. And now, in the quiet with Claire, the armor slid a little. She laughed lightly at something I said, and it wasn't flirtatious. It was real, uncalculated. And for the first time in a long while, I allowed myself to smile, not as a mask, but as an acknowledgement of something that felt like hope. Not hope for romance, not yet. Just hope for equilibrium, for agency, for life not dictated by manipulation. By the end of the evening, we walked together to the nearby Riverwalk. The water shimmered under lamplight, and the city reflected like broken fragments of memory, beautiful but fractured. Claire paused and looked at me quietly. "You're not the same man they thought you were." I laughed softly. "No, and I'm not going back." The walk ended, not with promises or declarations, but with the kind of understanding that feels like permission. Permission to be whole again, unbroken by deceit. We parted at the curb, her smile faint but sincere. "Tomorrow?" she asked. "Not a date, just tomorrow." I nodded. Tomorrow. The following days were a study in reclaiming life. Elena's messages continued, but I ignored them. The visa revocations had gone through. Samantha's divorce paperwork moved forward efficiently. Each interaction no longer held the potential to unravel me. The city outside remained indifferent, but inside I felt a quiet triumph, a clarity I had never known in love, betrayal, or performance. When I finally returned to the apartment that had once felt like a battlefield, it was empty but not hollow. The walls held echoes, yes, but no weight. I moved through the rooms, touching objects without the ghosts of lies attached. Every corner that once whispered suspicion now felt like reclaimed territory. Weeks later, Claire and I met again, not out of urgency, but because the connection we'd found in honesty was worth nurturing. Coffee, a quiet bar, laughter that didn't carry any agendas. She listened without judgment. I spoke without restraint. And in those moments, the scars left by Elena and Samantha began to feel like lessons, not shackles. By the time the leaves turned amber, the city had shifted subtly around me. I walked with attention, noticing the small miracles: a cat stretched in a sunbeam, the smell of rain on asphalt, strangers smiling. Life continued, messy and imperfect, but free. Free from manipulation, free from obligation to those who never truly loved, free to rebuild on my terms. In the end, the weddings, the parties, the open marriages, the betrayals, they were not about loss. They were about clarity. About learning when to fight, when to walk away, and when to simply let the storm reveal the truth. And that truth was mine to keep.